Dr. Paul, it's a good point. You mentioned two things there. I guess it'd be good to talk about. One is you mentioned limited government as though that meant something, as though there's some principle or some foundation that comes from. You also mentioned economic matters. So on those 2 points, one, limited government. When you say limited government, Dr. Paul, what do you mean by limited government? Where does that come from? Why is that important?
Well, it comes from the founding, and that is what the founders wanted, and that's why they made an effort in the Constitution. The Declaration of Independence is a little clearer on exactly what they wanted. They wanted to get rid of the authoritarians from across the ocean, telling them how to live. Uh, but but the Constitution was meant to restrain the government and tell us what the government can't do. And now it's turned into they're allowed those who object to what we're talking about. They object to it, and they say that the government can do anything that they want unless there's a prohibition in the Constitution. So following the Constitution is a good step in this direction. And the whole problem is that government there's a tremendous momentum. And now with the momentum we've had now for 100 years, where we more or less rejected this, 100 years ago, the progressive era really had a climactic entrance in 1913 when they say, well, we have to have an income tax, we have to have a Federal Reserve, we have to print money, deficits don't matter, our obligation is to make the world safe for democracy and this sort of thing. So we went off on a tangent, and the worst part of that was that the moral and the intellectual fiber of the country was shifting, and that is when these ideas were put into concrete in our universities, and now we're seeing the consequence of that, because they want to make a step forward, and it's now not even embarrassing for a politician to say, well, I believe in Marxism and I believe in socialism, and it's straightforward. It's coming out of our university. So we have we have a financial crisis, but I think we have a moral crisis too, and both are facing bankruptcy.